Good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our third installment of CBOT Unplugged, and we are happy to welcome Mayor Adrian Foster, Mayor of Clarington, as our very first guest to our podcast. So welcome.
Well, Bonnie, thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to be your very first guest.
Yes, thank you very much. But before we get into our discussion and setting the stage for our conversation with the mayor, I do want to share that this podcast is brought to you by and sponsored by Bioped in Bowmanville. Bioped Foot Care and Lower Limb Clinics is Durham Region's leading provider for lower limb care. They provide custom orthotics, compression socks, bracing, footwear, and medical footwear solutions to get you back on your feet and able to do more than what you want in your day. So their specialists can take you through a full biomedical assessment with video gait analysis to provide you with a full treatment plan and education on how to solve any lower limb problems that you may be going through. Bioped also has an on-site lab and state-of-the-art technology to keep production in-house and allowing a very, very quick turnaround to get you back on your feet. And I can attest to their care for your feet. So we have Rhonda in our office who has been able to connect with Lindsay for her foot care needs, and it is a big advocate for Bioped as well. And I have to shout out to my mom too. So she's been to see Lindsay for her new running shoes as well. So thank you very much for taking care of us. They are located at 219 King Street East at the entrance just off of St. George Street at the side of the building there. So you can book your appointment by phone at 905-623-0777. By email, it's bowmanville@bioped.com, or you can go online and visit bioped.com/Bowmanville. And I have something else to share about Bioped after the podcast is almost complete. So thank you again, Bioped, for your sponsor. All right, let's get into some discussion with Mayor Foster. So we're going to chat today about Mayor Foster's journey into politics, a bit about community, the future of Clarington, and a few fun facts about Adrian that maybe some people may or may not know. So let's set the stage. And I've known Adrian. I've known you I've been at the Board of Trade. It'll be coming up on 17 years. So I've known you for probably 16 of those, as long as I've been with CBOT. So I know firsthand Adrian's dedication to the community. Adrian has 2 adult sons. He and his wife, Deborah, live in Curtis, and Deborah is an ordained minister with the United Church of Canada. So I do want to mention our gratitude on behalf of CBOT for all of your support through the years. Adrian was one of the OGs presidents. He was, I think, president number 4. I believe it was 23 years ago.
A minute's gone by.
A minute.
Yeah, a minute's gone by.
Maybe 23 years have gone by, something like that. And I was going to actually dig out, I haven't had time this morning, but I was going to dig out a picture because in the top drawer. Yeah, we might show it later as a little pop-up later, just because I know you want to see that for sure. So you have been mayor now. This is your 4th term as mayor of Clarington, the longest serving mayor in Clarington. And you were first elected in 2003, but not as mayor. So maybe you can take us through that journey, maybe why you entered politics, what brought you into Clarington, because I know you're a Scarborough gentleman and family, and what brought your family out to Clarington.
Well, I can't help myself, and I'm just so happy that we are off to such a firm footing on this, and
Yes.
That would be because of Bioped.
Absolutely.
Truthfully, though, and I'm going to do
good.
this, that Clarington's economy is so importantly based on small business.
Yep.
So it's companies like your sponsor, Bioped, all of the others, your members, they are incredibly important. So the question is odd. People have been asking me this. I don't know if they're trying to tell me something. How on earth I got into politics, the journey getting here. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, my mother worked as an executive assistant under one of the ministers during the Davis era. There is a big difference if you're working for a member of parliament or a member of provincial parliament, if they are in government or not. So are you working in a constituency office or are you working in a minister's office? The funding available, things that you can get done, quality of the job. She was a single mom. Her job was obviously rather important to keep my sister and I fed. Two things were really important. One, the member had to win the seat if she wanted to have a job, and two, the party had to make the government if she wanted to have a good job, which required a teenaged Adrian to knock on doors, put up election signs. I think at one point in time, and it lasted about 6 hours, I discovered I was the president of the youth association for the riding. All the stuff that you absolutely hate doing
as a teenager.
As a teenager.
I can imagine.
But somewhat necessary. And the other part, we could be getting back to it. Davis was a progressive conservative here in Ontario. If the Liberals had an idea, it was just a dumb idea because it was an idea that came from the progressive conservatives. If the NDP had an idea, you didn't even bother listening to it. And the world, there were a couple of NDP members that had a huge impact on safety here in Ontario, but at the time they were viewed as radicals, and you'd call them quasi criminals. And even as a teenager, I didn't understand why we couldn't appreciate different points of view. To this day, and I've said it so many times. I think because of that, I've got a distaste for party politics, partisan politics. I understand the need for it. But the ability to at least listen to somebody else's point of view. So in early 2003, before I was elected, if you had told me that by the end of 2003 I'd be a politician, I would have laughed at you. We had a retiring councillor, Jane Rowe, who had seen me because I volunteered in a lot of things, suggested that maybe I should run for council. She was retiring, she would help. I like to say in a weak moment, Deb and I said yes, and here I am. But this was never, ever part of the plan.
Right. So did you hesitate, or did you kind of take that back and go, you know what, let me think about it? Or was it like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to do this?
No, we would have spoken about it.
Yeah.
There would have been a degree of hesitation. So at the time, I was running the business.
Exactly.
Worried about balancing business and politics at the same time.
Yeah. Big decisions it's a big change for your family. Yeah.
So the scarier part, and it's tough for the local councillors and the regional councillors where it's a part-time job because you've got a lot to balance. Yeah. Running for mayor, I had to give up the business, which meant if I didn't win a second term, to start all over again and rebuild a business, that was a bit like stepping off of a cliff.
A little bit. I'd say without a parachute. Exactly.
Yeah.
You had your own business for about 26 years, did you not? Right.
Yeah,
so you did take that leap.
That was an interesting discussion.
Interesting discussion for sure. I don't think, did you have a parachute at the time just in case? Or you
No,
just,
if I had lost the first election as mayor, I simply would have, gotten back into what I was doing and more focused on that. But the second election would have been problematic, and it's just starting from scratch and rebuilding a business that I'd worked at for, well, again, as you say, 26 years, starting from scratch.
That's right.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been as much fun as I might have wanted.
That's right. So in your, as we were talking about earlier, in your fourth term, that's 16 years of being mayor, and before Adrian was a local councillor, for Ward 1 for Curtis, where he lives. So I guess you've seen a lot, and this is pretty much your full-time gig for the last 16 years, so it's probably hard to imagine not doing anything else.
So when I was a councillor, and one of the reasons I ran for mayor is I thought it would be great to do the conferences, get involved in the workshops, do a deeper dive into all of the things that I couldn't as a part-time councillor. As a mayor, I wish I had the time to do a deeper dive. It is amazing how busy. So it is. It's more than a full-time job, but anyone doing it, and the team that we have on Clarington Council now, there's a passion for it. You don't notice the hours going by because we're having fun and getting stuff done. But filling the days, and I've looked at a number of colleagues that have retired. It is tough from going 100 miles an hour to slowing right down quickly. So that day will come at some point. Not right now, but at some point.
To your point, you have to have a passion for it, right? Because the days and the minutes and the hours and years go by. Again, 16 years doing this, so you must have really seen a lot of change, a lot of evolution through the community, and maybe you can talk a little bit about that since you've started and since the years have gone by. What have you seen as the most change and a significant change in the community?
Yeah, I mean we have evolved from very much small town to a sophisticated organization. When we first moved from Pickering, first house was in Pickering, to Curtis. On the front of the Statesman, the paper that existed then, was an article that they had found a billy goat wandering down Highway 2 in Bowmanville. And did anyone know whose billy goat it was? And Deb and I looked, we both worked out of Toronto, had always worked in Toronto, and cracked up laughing. Yeah. Just, couldn't imagine. And even driving up Prestonvale Road to the house, we would make the kids, laugh in hysterics. I would turn the lights out in the car because there were no lights on the road. The road was a tiny little road with all kinds of trees, of course. Houses exceptionally well lit. Yeah. I was looking at the numbers in 2003 when I was first elected. We were about 75,000 people. And one of the joys of Clarington is we're spread across a number of communities. Yeah. So we feel small, but much, much smaller. We're about 113,000 now. So you think in a fairly small period of time, the quantum of growth. And as I look at the municipality, I've been blessed both as mayor and as a councillor to be surrounded with exactly the people that we needed at the time. So there were staff that had such a soft touch, knew everybody in the community, happy to talk to anyone as long as they wanted to. We can't do that in the same fashion today. Yeah. Staff are different, skill sets are different, but they're exactly what we need today.
Exactly. Well, that's true. And you've seen a lot of growth, not only from the residential perspective, from that population growth, but from a business perspective. So looking at where Canadian Tire is now and Walmart, that used to be not there a long time ago, right? And so just seeing the development and the jobs being created, and you have been at, I'm going to feel like almost all the grand openings to all of them. So that I think if you want to maybe comment on the business growth within the area as well.
Yeah. So one of the reasons that I got involved with the Board of Trade was because of a group called the Clarington Business Group. And some of the folks watching this will know Ron Collis. Ron and I co-chaired that group for 13 years. So small business owners, about 30, 35 of us would get together once a month and share stories and try to support each other. The individual that was doing economic development at the time was also doing tourism and communications. So Jen Cook was the ECDEV officer, right?
Yep.
Jen was the ECDEV officer. She was also in charge of tourism and communications. Yes. You look to where we are today. Yep. Looking at the numbers, it looks like we created in excess of 2,000 new jobs last year. You will see the numbers. You will see how busy things were, and even the evolution of the Clarington Board of Trade, the supports.
Definitely.
not in a million years when the Board of Trade was first created would we have anticipated the depth of response, for example, during the pandemic, the depth of response that you're undertaking right now with the tariff threats, the ability. So I'll give a lot of credit to you and the organization and to your people for an amazing task.
Well, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for leaders and volunteers like yourself and members of the business community too. So we wouldn't be sitting here without them.
So I appreciate it, but it's the leaders in the business community, and you deal with them daily. But I am just amazed at the quality and passion. So we were out yesterday at a business, and you look at the owners, and speaking about it, I think it was pre-pandemic we went out. There must have been a slowdown because we talked many years ago, but it was 3 or 4 business owners in a row that were letting people go, and how devastating it was to them personally to have to do that, and to get a sense of the dedication of the business, but their employees and the community. Every time something needs to happen, these folks step up without hesitation.
That's right.
It is so cool.
Well, it's their family, isn't it? So there's a lot of business owners who have been business owners for years, even decades. So they treat their employees just as their own family. So speaking of that dedication part, great segue about the community. So speaking of the community coming together, so to your point pertaining to through the pandemic, we were all there for each other. The tariff activities, as well as the fire in downtown Bowmanville. It's a testament to just how everybody pulls together. A lot of big hearts that are helping. So we at the Board of Trade, we try our best to commit to making sure other businesses feel that they are involved, and making sure that they know it's valuable for supporting projects in their community. For example, the Bowmanville Hospital expansion, as well as Marigold Hospice Care as well. So how important is it for you to make sure that you don't, it's not the responsibility on you, but the responsibility is on you to also make that infectious, and make sure that others know the importance of giving back to the community, and why should they care about giving back to the community? It's because they live here, right? So maybe talk a little bit more about the community support.
So you spoke a bit about family, and another part is home, and Clarington is home in the true sense of the world, whether it's your business home or if you live here as well as work and play and invest here. We look at how the business has stepped up for the hospital, for the hospice, the fire. Was just an amazing example of the community gathering around to help each other. And up in Orono, Pound and Pestle could find 4 square feet in their fridge to help with some of the
He was willing to
flour.
help. He was ready.
Yeah, I mean, just
He was ready,
so whatever small thing they could do, and so many small things and big things happened. And if maybe a good analogy is if you went back a number of years when we had the zoo, people that weren't used to Bowmanville would be amazed that there was an elephant walking down the street.
That's right.
And we would shrug our shoulders and say, of course there's an elephant walking down the street. And I wonder if it's the same with the way the business community gets involved, in the broader community, helping out with these things that, a lot of people are amazed at, and we shrug our shoulders.
Just what we do, yeah.
We're just used to it. So the hospital, they still need help in the hospital, but, part of the hospital, frustration that I have on that is... The challenge we have, you got to love when stuff like this happens, right? Because it just makes you grin.
Yep.
We keep talking with Lake Ridge Health that is going to be hundreds of millions of dollars being invested in downtown Bowmanville. The economic development, the number of people that they hire directly, the spin-offs, the amount of stuff that the hospital, and to a lesser degree, but the same with the hospice, this is a huge economic piece and a huge opportunity for our local businesses.
Yes.
And the same of any number of things that the business gets behind. If I want to look at an organization with heart, your past president, Ben Earl, to have the executive director of a food bank, big food bank.
Big food bank.
To be fair, I mean,
Yep.
that is a significant business and undertaking. To recognize that the not-for-profits run very frequently under more difficult
Yes.
circumstances than business, but they've got to hire people, they've got to fire people, they've got to buy stuff, they need to rent or lease, they need equipment, and we don't think about that side. So
Well, they're a business. They're a business,
and it's
right?
a few months ago now that you hosted
That's
that
right.
event, and they are significant employers, significant
Yes.
contributors to our business activity. But for the Board of Trade to have that ethos, I think is just amazing. And again, comes back to community, bringing everyone together. So
Yes.
good on you for doing that.
Yeah, well, it's part of our fabric, right? So as much as we are a member-based organization, we are out to support any business. Really, our first point of discussion is not, we're not doing this, let's get them to be members. That's usually not even discussed. So it's how can we help? So we bend our ear and they tell us what they need to tell us, and we win them over just because we're authentic. And so I think this is us as a community. We're an authentic community. I'm always overwhelmed, by the outpouring of support for community projects, for especially the fire, hospice, and all the things that make this community great. I think that's why, you are in your fourth term and you have to have passion for that and respect for that, and just as we do. So I think both of us have that in common, is we do what we do because we love to see the value, and we love to see the community come together and celebrate. We have a lot going on here, and it's not going to stop. So I appreciate your thoughts for sure. So question I want to ask you, maybe you've been asked before, is what is your most favorite part and about being mayor, and what is the most frustrating part about being mayor of Clarington?
Favorite part are the people that I work with. So I am surrounded by exceptionally intelligent, capable individuals. Most of them more intelligent and more capable than I am.
I get it. Me
right?
too.
So,
Yes.
we are so fortunate
Yep.
that way. So the ability to tap into the knowledge, the ability to I don't know. There's an individual might be in the room right now.
Might be, yep.
Well, so when I want to say something, she sucks her teeth a little bit, and that's
Like right now.
That's like right now.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
usually an indication. Are you sure you want to say that, Adrian?
Yes.
So to tap in to passion as well, get things done and have fun. So the last couple of years, council has had we're getting a bunch of stuff done, and we're having fun, fun doing it. So that's the favorite part. The least favorite part, and again, it's the staff in the office that take the brunt of it. People will call the mayor's office for some really interesting problems.
Yep.
While this happened a number of years ago, there was a gentleman who was upset that there were too many ants, being the insects, too many ants on his neighbor's lawn. I don't know how you respond to that. And this was what we call a neighbor versus neighbor, Hatfield versus McCoy.
Yes,
where,
yes.
When neighbors start fighting, it just gets silly. Nobody wins. We get caught in the middle. That is not. While the story is humorous now, it's
Back then it wasn't so much.
And I can tell you that he was as angry as a human being could be, and I'm sure in his mind was convinced that there were too many ants on his neighbor's front lawn. So yeah, but that's part of public service, and if you're dealing with the public. Dealing with individuals, because not all of us are having the greatest day, right?
That's true. Well, at least they didn't call 911, because some people would call 911 for something like that. So they call the mayor, the next best thing. So, yes. And so also, you always say at our grand openings, this is one of your most favorite things is grand openings, because it's a celebration. And it is fun. We have to keep remembering what we're doing is important to the community, but you have to have fun. right? So
Well, you do, and so you were saying before Walmart was here, we'd done a study, and downtown Bowmanville was in a slow but steady decline. The reason being, there was very little that you could buy in Bowmanville. When the town did the studies, it
Right.
indicated that if you could buy stuff in Bowmanville, people would stop shopping in Oshawa, which
Big concern, yeah.
Well, and that's exactly what happened. Supported the downtown businesses, but every time a business opens, it's whether it's a new shopping experience, a service, something that people can get that they couldn't get the day before. I know how scary it is for the folks opening those businesses. So on the one, it's generally a culmination of dreams. They have finally taken that big step. And we talked about stepping off of a cliff. They've taken a big step. They've got dreams for the future. It's terrifying all at the same time.
risky, all of the things.
So all of those emotions coming together, but doing something great and employing people, creating job opportunities. So
That's right.
Doing those ribbon cuttings is a lot of
It's
fun.
amazing. Well, there's loyalty there too, as
Yes.
well. So you have great respect for those business owners in the downtowns and small business because they put their livelihood in there as well, right? And so they employ people. Yes, the Walmarts and Canadian Tires do as well, but it's a little bit different, right? It means a little bit different. It's your livelihood, and it's they put everything into running their business. So
I'll get the number wrong, but I think the last regional report I read suggested something like 3,500? Like the number of small businesses in Clarington is staggering.
Well, yeah, and I think last year, we do a tally as well. I think last year there was 33 or 35 businesses that small business that opened. This is a bricks and mortar, I believe, in Clarington, right?
Yeah.
So that created a lot of jobs as well. So that for that we're grateful. So I know we have a couple more minutes left, and I think I'm gonna maybe just skip a few questions and go right to the fun facts for Adrian. So he's been serving the community for over 21 years. So when do you have time for yourself? I know you're off on, you go to Europe for nuclear conferences. He's a champion of the nuclear community as well. You have a full calendar. So thank you for making time today. So what do you like to do for fun, and when do you have time for yourself?
Yeah, so there is not a lot of time. But again, a lot of the things that I'm doing, like ribbon cuttings, is not exactly breaking rock. Where you have a passion, it's not work. When I can, if I can go up to Mosport, and throw myself around in my car on the track, and be an idiot. That is
That's on the track, not on the road,
yes,
right?
is,
Okay.
It's interesting. My theory is, and most of the drivers, that we exercise, as in the exorcism are speed demons on the track. But I'm thinking that most people that whether they race or do high performance driving, that on the street you probably pay way more attention and go more slowly.
Yeah,
So
probably. Yeah.
I've had a few people suggest that I could speed up. Not everyone. So, again, Jen's in the corner here.
Yeah,
She's shaking her
yes.
head going, not always, Adrian.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That too may be true.
True.
So enjoy that. And if I can, if I can get into my canoe and paddle, finding somewhere quiet.
A bit of serenity. It's nice.
Amongst the trees and paddling away.
Good.
Which is sort of the polar opposite of driving the car on the track.
A little bit, yeah. Well, you have to balance the noise.
I suppose,
right?
Yeah, there you go.
That's true. So maybe what are a couple of favorite things about Clarington? I know you've done videos in the past. You're 10 minutes from here and 20 minutes from here. But for you, what do you enjoy?
So that's exactly it. I think we are so lucky. 10 minutes from my house, I can and do go camping at Darlington Provincial Park. And once you're in the park, you have no idea how close you are to the city. Like, it's a provincial park like any other provincial park. I can go 15 minutes in the other direction and, be in Tyrone Mills, which has been open. It's got to be pushing 200 years in
probably.
operation.
Yep.
State-of-the-art technology 200 years ago, and 20 minutes in another direction, I can be down at the nuclear power plant and the public center there to learn about nuclear power plants. the greenery. So we have so much here. If I lived in Toronto, to go skiing, it might take me 25 minutes to go skiing.
Yep.
If I want to go mountain biking, in the conservation areas, or simply hiking, the fishing that we have here, I never get out fishing, but
It's there.
Beyond there, so we have hundreds of Quebecers come here to go. We probably go to Quebec because human nature, but some absolutely amazing fishing. My love of golf. And my skill sets at golf, but
Skill sets.
or complete and utter lack thereof. But the number of places that you can go golfing, pick your own apples. Everything is so close and so accessible, and there is so much to do here.
Yeah. There is, absolutely. Even with Bragg Farms, we had Brittany Bragg won an award from us at our AGM that we had last month ago, and they do pick your own potatoes too. So the experiences broaden, and the tourism in the community is something to be proud of. Right, and there's a lot to do here. So especially.
So who thought? And I've heard of people that pick the potatoes, and then I'm hearing that there is a big difference in the taste, that they are so good. Who would have thought 10 or 15 years ago that you're going to have fun with your family picking potatoes,
right? Exactly.
And yet we're hearing
get muddy.
We're hearing how it makes sense with kids, right? And I guess picking your own flowers. Now a thing that is happening.
For sure, absolutely,
all of this opportunity that didn't exist a short time ago.
Thanks to small business, right? So very good.
Well, so small business and the imagination to think, hey, this could be a thing.
That's right, and they make it a thing.
Yeah.
Right. Especially during the pandemic, there was a lot of reinvention, and a lot of new ideas were born from that. So very good. So we're going to wrap up. So is there anything, Adrian, that you'd like to share to our audience about what's coming up for Clarington? Any final thoughts? I know you may want to mention your newsletter that's been out for a few weeks now, but
so a newsletter, and give us feedback in the newsletter. So this is a new initiative to try to keep people up to speed in terms of what's happening
right from the desk of the mayor,
right in the mayor's office. That's and beyond. Vendors directory for Clarington. If people have not signed up to the vendors directory, please take a look at that. Sign up. We would love to do more business with local business, but if we don't know who you are and what you sell,
we can help with that. We'll get that word out as much as we can.
Have you done that before?
I think so.
I would suggest that people keep an eye. We've got some significant work that is proceeding both on the zoo lands, the Curtis waterfront. We've done a lot of work on trails and parkland, but mostly I would encourage your members, check out the membership for the businesses that have sponsored things. Look for them, because without the businesses stepping up, this doesn't happen. So thank them. If you're looking to buy something, go online to your membership directory, see if there's a local business that you can support. And for your events, one of the joys of the Clarington Business Group were the friendships that we made 30 years ago still exist today.
Absolutely.
The networking opportunities that you were providing. People will make relationships and friendships that will last decades based on getting out and just getting to know people. So I would encourage your members to do that.
Well, thank you. Yes, I think you're right. We have members who are members since the beginning. This is their 27th year, and they're still here. So we have a lot of them, and we see them a lot come out. And that speaks to the value of those friendships and relationships, including ours with the municipality. So thank you very much. I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you. So I'm going to mention something about Bioped and a really great initiative that they are involved in. So year-round, they're involved in a program called Souls for Souls program. So the Durham Region Clinics have collected over 25,000 pairs of shoes to date and partner regularly with community members to run a number of shoe drives. We've done this in the past as well, and we're probably looking to doing it again. I think we filled the bin probably twice, so and we've encouraged our members to drop off their shoes, lightly used shoes. So anyone can donate to locations in their locations in Bowmanville, Oshawa, and Ajax, and as well as Pickering. So if you're interested in hosting one of the shoe drives, you can email the Bioped at Bowmanville at bioped.com. So we want to thank again Bioped for sponsoring the episode. Adrian, thank you for joining us and being a very first guest here. Appreciate your time.
It's always fun hanging out with you
Yeah,
guys.
there you go. We see Adrian probably feels like twice a day now. He's like, I see you again and again. But that's a good thing because a lot of great things are happening in the community. So thank you again for everything you do and for your support. And we'll probably see you tomorrow somewhere.
Probably.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Appreciate it.
Thank you for this.
Thank you.
And you guys for your help too. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of CBOT Unplugged, brought to you by the Clarington Board of Trade. Follow us on Instagram at ClaringtonBot, on Facebook at the Clarington Board of Trade, or visit our website, cbot.ca.